Welcome back to Judd and Luke's College Football Show. So today we got three topics that we're wanting to talk about. We're wanting to talk about SEC win totals, just kind of talk about those a little bit, see what we think, maybe pick a couple teams to have a small discussion about. We're going to talk about teams and brand deals or conferences and brand deals that just kind of make sense together in light of the Big 12 monster kind of joining there. And we're also going to talk about something that we're calling Draw the Line. We got just kind of like a top 25 prediction. We don't have an AP poll yet, but just kind of draw a line on that top 25 prediction to see if we think which teams have a chance at actually winning the national championship. So that's what we're talking about today.
Alrighty, here we go. Let's start with our SEC win totals for the season. Here we go. You guys know how this works. Las Vegas has odds. They have odds for how many games each team's going to win across all of college football. Today we're going to go through the SEC. We're going to look at all the game totals that they've have out so far according to, this is from FanDuel. So we're going through FanDuel's game totals for the SEC, and we're just going to see over, under, see what we think, maybe talk about a couple. So you want to go ahead and start with Alabama?
Yeah, give me Alabama. I've got over for Alabama right now, but it's hard. They have one of the easier schedules, in my opinion.
8.5.
In the SEC. They're 8.5, yeah, sorry. I've got them over 8.5. The only game, I think they lose to LSU and they lose to A&M. The only game that I see could be kind of maybe tricky is Tennessee because it's at Tennessee, little rivalry there. But Tennessee just doesn't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
Alabama also doesn't really have a quarterback, so that's kind of a hard schedule. But I have them over. I have them losing 2 games to LSU and A&M.
I have them over 2. I think this will be. I have them losing like you said, 2 games. Even if they lose another, they're still over. Over. Yeah. I think 8.5 is pretty easy for Alabama. Their schedule's not too hard.
It's a favorable SEC schedule for sure.
So I think Alabama's going to be an over, and they don't know for sure their quarterback, but Keelan Russell's looking like the starter. So I think they'll be good. They'll be fine. Go over 8.5, which is actually great in the SEC.
Yeah, it is great in the SEC. I think, if they lose 2 games, they're obviously in the playoffs in the SEC. But if they've got 3 losses, they want to put a 3-loss team in the playoffs.
They want to extremely bad.
We'll see what happens. Arkansas is the next one. I think here's the problem with Arkansas. I've got a little bit written down for them. Arkansas is probably going to go under 4.5 wins, to be quite honest with you. They have a new coach, Ryan Silverfield, from Memphis, but they lost their best player in Taylon Green, and I just don't really – unimpressive recruiting class, unimpressive transfer portal class. Let's see. I got their schedule here, so let's actually just take a look at their schedule real quick. They play North Alabama, which is a win.
Okay, yeah.
They play Utah. I actually have them winning at Utah. Utah lost their heart and soul. They lost their coach and pretty much everybody on their entire team. So maybe first-year head coach versus first-year head coach, but we'll see. And in their program, but Utah lost a great head coach to Michigan. So I have them beating Utah, losing to Georgia, beating Tulsa. Sorry, Tulsa. I love you. I love you, Tulsa, but you're going to lose. Losing to A&M, losing to Tennessee. Here's a tricky one. Vanderbilt is kind of a weird game. Both teams are going to suck, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, they are.
But Vanderbilt has more money, so I'm just going to put my money on Vanderbilt there.
Wait, did you have them beating Utah?
Yeah, I've been beating Utah.
So you have them three wins right now?
3 wins.
Okay.
Yeah, they're good. That's
4 with Vandy?
No, Vanderbilt's going to win. I think I'm predicting a Vanderbilt win.
Okay, 3 wins so far. Okay.
Yeah, and then I have them losing the rest of their games. Lose to Missouri, lose to Auburn, lose to South Carolina, lose to Texas, lose to LSU. I think they're going to add one more win to their 2-win season from last season. You could say they could win that Vanderbilt game. That's kind of a toss-up. And Missouri, their big problem is they don't have a quarterback, but they have an Ahmed Hardy, and you don't really need a quarterback.
Really need, honestly.
Yeah, don't really need a quarterback with Ahmed Hardy. But
I have
them
great form last season, but
Yeah, they've got them at 4.5. I think that's high.
I actually have the exact same. I think Arkansas is going to win 3 games. I have them well under 4.5 wins.
I think that 3.5 wins would be the total that I would be. That's where I would set that line at, just because then that would actually be competitive. I think they're going to have a hard time, even if they beat Missouri or Vanderbilt. They're not going to beat them both, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's what they would have to do.
It's one or the other.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, I don't think they're going to beat both of those teams.
Yeah, me neither. Okay, Auburn 6.5, first-year head coach. 6.5 for me seems high, and I'm taking the under.
Yeah, I also have under there. Byron Brown's going to be their quarterback.
Yeah, new head coach Alex Golesh from USF.
Yeah. So, and he brought a quarterback with him. But I have them losing to Florida, Georgia, LSU, Ole Miss, Alabama, and also maybe a little bit of a lose to Baylor there.
Honestly,
right at the beginning of the
a
season.
brutal. I mean, the thing about all these games is all these teams have hard schedules. They're in the SEC.
Yeah.
Like all these teams are playing are going to be decent. Vanderbilt is in a bad year, and their game total is still 5.5. So, I mean, you can't really do anything about this when you're Auburn. You're set at 6.5. That's obviously good. You're in the SEC, but
I mean, they are above. I mean, we're in a world where 500 is good. Apparently,
Yeah,
I don't know.
true.
I would actually have to disagree. I don't think 500 is good even in the SEC personally.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, because if you're talking about hard schedules, Florida, which is the next team, is not a team that has
True.
a hard schedule in my
Yeah.
opinion. Their hardest games are Texas, Georgia, and Oklahoma. I mean, those are 3 hard games, 3 harder games than than a team in the ACC plays.
Mm-hmm.
But like 3 hard games and then the rest of it. I mean, they play Ole Miss as well, but we'll see how Ole Miss
Florida
shapes up.
also first year head coach, new
That's
quarterback,
right.
like
New
all these
quarterback.
things. Yeah,
It's hard right now. The SEC is going to be weird. I actually see a world where the SEC turns out completely opposite of what we maybe our like preseason picture is,
Yeah.
because so many teams have new coaches or first year starting quarterbacks or quarterbacks who've never actually not first year but haven't
Yeah,
ever
sure.
started. So it's just going to be really weird to see.
It almost
how
seems
the
like in the SEC, you either have a returning quarterback who's proven to be good,
Yeah.
or you have a brand new guy.
Exactly.
Like you have a
Unless you're
Trinidad
Georgia.
or a Sam Levitt or Gunnar Stockton,
Yeah.
Palmatier, Arch Manning.
Yeah, I didn't even say I have Florida going under.
Yeah, I have Florida missing that line by 0.5.
Because they're at
also.
7.5,
Yeah,
by the way.
I think
so
they'll win 7 games.
Florida, I think I have them winning 7 games as well. I have them losing to Texas, Georgia, Oklahoma, Ole Miss,
Yep.
and Missouri. Those are the games I have them winning. Just because, again, Ahmed Hardy is kind of a cheat code.
Yeah, true.
Kentucky, I'm not even going to talk about. Oh, that's not the Tex team, but I brought them up. I'm not even going to talk about Kentucky. I'm sorry, Kentucky. You're at
Okay,
4.5.
pause. I love Kentucky, to be honest.
I got them going under at 4.5.
Judd has under 4.5. I have over. I think Kentucky's new head coach, he came from Oregon. He was the offensive coordinator at Oregon, Will Stein, and I think he's great. I think he's going to be a good coach. I think obviously their line's 4.5. It's not super hard to beat that. In the SEC, it's not easy, but 4.5 is not a terrible thing for you to have to beat. So I think in the next couple of years they could be.
I don't have their
winning
schedule. Yeah, I don't
8
have their
games.
schedule here in front of me. I do vaguely remember it being kind of a brutal.
It's not easy for sure.
Horrible schedule.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just remember looking at their schedule and just my gut was immediately like, yeah, they're not going to win very many games this season.
It is going to be hard to get that 4.5, but it is doable. So you did skip Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia. This is one that I kind of wanted to talk about. This is my hot take. You said either like the SEC teams like have proven good quarterbacks or new guys. I think Gunnar Stockton is the most overrated quarterback in. Well, Arch Manning might be the most overrated.
Disclaimer: Judd is an extreme Georgia hater this year.
I am. I'm not a big not all around. I actually love Kirby Smart. I think I like Georgia as a brand. I just don't like Gunnar Stockton, and I don't like I don't know a single Georgia skill position player's name. I read them. I read their names on a list, but I don't know who they are. I haven't heard.
Well, they did lose most of their guys.
They did.
To be
They had
honest.
Zachariah Branch from USC last
Branch
season.
brothers.
He's gone.
Yeah.
But I mean, here's the thing. About Georgia, they're going to be good on the offensive and defensive line. That's great.
That is
they're
true.
going to be good at defense. That's not. The problem that they've consistently had for the past 2 to 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Is they don't have any explosiveness at their skill positions. The running backs are above our average. I mean, I'm trying to think of Etienne. Was that the last good running back they had? And he was just okay. Not Travis Etienne, his younger brother.
Yeah.
What was his name? I can't remember his name.
I can't either.
But-
their tight end.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They did have. Why I'm forgetting his name too.
Raiders.
Brock Bowers.
Yep.
Sorry.
Brock Bowers. Yep.
They had Brock Bowers. He was, but I can't. So this is a game I want to bring up. In the Georgia Notre Dame game in the playoffs, that is just kind of what proved to me how abysmal Georgia skill players are. If they had any sort of explosive receiver, running back, their running back, the Etienne kid fumbled twice. They just don't have it at the skill position right now. I think Gunnar Stockton's overrated. I do.
Yeah, I mean they never really seem to have a great quarterback. to be honest.
We'll see. I have them going under at 9.5.
I also do have them under.
I think that's high. 9.5.
I have them missing it by 1, to be honest.
I do too. I think they'll
go 9. I think they'll go 9 wins.
Yeah, I have them losing to OU, Alabama, and Ole Miss.
Yep.
That's who I have them losing to. I think that those are all definite losable games for Georgia. I think 9.5. That's other than Texas. That's the highest predicted win total in the SEC, which Texas is also 9.5.
Yeah, true.
But I just think that I don't know. I have them going under. I think they'll drop 3 games. I don't think that they're. Let's go to LSU though.
LSU. Okay, for LSU, I honestly, this is kind of crazy, and I didn't think I would. I honestly would never have guessed that I picked this. I think so. LSU's line for total wins is 8.5. Now I have them going over this.
I do too.
I have their schedule right here. I think they go Clemson first game, kick off the season, win. Clemson obviously has been down the last couple of years. They ended the season rough last year.
When do you, as Clemson, even though you won the national championships, when do you start wondering about Dabo's lifetime there?
I almost think never. I almost think you can't get rid of Dabo.
I don't know.
I think he would have to do like something great. Like he would have to do something Sharon Moore level bad for you to fire him.
That's actually
good. Which Dabo would never do either because he's the best man of all time.
Yeah. But just seeing him like in the news like this season talking about, well, look at all these games I won while having no results in the season. That is true. I don't know. I think it was a bad look.
The thing about Clemson this year that I do think they could be good later in the season, probably not week 1, is that he actually tapped a little bit into the transfer portal this year.
Yeah.
Before this, he's never been a transfer portal guy.
That's the thing Clemson's going to have to be. And for one, I don't know how much money Clemson even really has as far as NIL, but Clemson's going to have to grow and mature in the transfer portal if they want to be good. I mean, you look at look at Miami. They were one of the number 1 portal teams. Indiana, one of the number 1 portal teams, and those 2 teams played in the national championship.
The thing is, you can't just sit here and think that the NIL and transfer portal isn't going to go away. You have to change with it, and that's what most coaches that are great have been doing.
You either change with it or retire, Nick Saban.
And speaking of great transfer portal, LSU. So
LSU.
LSU obviously not great last year. Were they 8-5, something like that? They ended the season with a loss to Oklahoma in the regular season. This year, we have Lane Kiffin, obviously. At Ole Miss last year, he had 1 loss in the regular season.
As much as I don't like Lane Kiffin as a person, he just knows how to win.
Yeah, he does.
He knows how to win football games. The grass is always greener.
Yep.
For Lane Kiffin, and if you're a LSU fan, maybe don't get too comfortable with him there because he's probably going to,
Sure. Alabama offers. He's
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Once the second Kellen's out of there, you might find Lane Kiffin at Alabama.
Seriously.
But I will say this: he knows how to win football games. I have LSU going undefeated.
His first game that most people are probably thinking of is Ole Miss, which is in Oxford too. Mm-hmm. The thing about this game is I just think it's too much for Pete Golding.
Yeah.
I don't think he's coached in a big game. I mean, he coached obviously in a huge game in the playoffs. But now that it's his first full year as a head coach, a lot of people are saying it's his first year as a head coach, period. Obviously, he played last season. He coached last season, obviously, in a huge game, playoff game. But this is his first game. The crowd's going to be insane. Oxford's going to be probably throwing bricks at Lane Kiffin when he walks on the field. It's going to be crazy. And I just don't think he's going to be able to hold up under all of that. So I think LSU takes that. They play A&M. They play Auburn, Mississippi State, Kentucky wins all the way until November 7th. They play Alabama, which is the first time I think they play a good team. Also,
I think they beat Alabama because quarterbacks. Quarterbacks win football games, and LSU has one, and Alabama doesn't.
The only reason I have them losing to Alabama. Okay. This is the only loss I have LSU getting all year, and it's because LSU is 1-6 against Alabama in the last 7 matchups. Not only that, true. I think Lane Kiffin has an Alabama problem. I think mentally he has an Alabama problem. That's where he wants to be.
Yeah.
And then next week they play Texas, which also could be a loss.
I haven't beaten Texas.
I do too, but the only reason I have that is because, well, first off, Lane Kiffin and Steve Sarkisian are friends. They coach at USC and Alabama together. And then Texas is coming off back-to-back road games. They go entire October, not a single road game. Then they play, I think Texas plays at not somewhere terrible. They play at Missouri.
Oh, Missouri.
So not terrible. Not a terrible road game. But then they go no road games, Missouri at LSU, Death Valley. And I would assume this is going to be a night game, to be honest, because I think they'll probably both be pretty good in the season.
Yeah.
So a night game in Death Valley with Lane Kiffin, who at this point, if you're looking at my schedule and it just seems to be right, then they would be coming off a loss from Alabama, which could affect LSU. But I think they'll beat Texas, beat Tennessee, Arkansas, in the regular season with a 1 loss. But
I have them going undefeated as much as I hate to see it. I think that just like Alabama, they have a pretty favorable SEC schedule.
Yeah, their schedule is pretty easy, to be honest.
And, I mean, Texas and Alabama, those are hard games, don't get me wrong. I think Ole Miss is, just another one of those. I think as much as I like Trinidad and I think he's going to be good and all this and that, they're just another one of those middle-of-the-road SEC teams. So I'm not –
Yeah, Trinidad's great. I think he can take Ole Miss as high as they want to go with him, to be honest. But I think that he can't do it by himself.
Exactly. So I have LSU going undefeated, and they're going to be they're going to play in the SEC championship.
Yeah, probably.
And we can talk about championships and our prediction for that later.
Yeah, true.
Them going undefeated is not me predicting them as the best team in the SEC. By the way, that's me just saying, looking at their schedule, I think they're not going to lose any regular season games.
Mississippi State, we can skip over this. I'm sure we both have the under.
Yeah.
Trash. Missouri.
I put Missouri at over because their schedule is not horrible, and I just have Ahmed Hardy as like their little cheat. I mean, he's going to be the best running back in college football. You could argue a couple guys like Bo Jackson, Ohio State, a couple other guys out there, but
I really don't like Eli Drinkwitz. I mean, last year they had Ahmad Hardy. They didn't have a quarterback really last year. Bro Prabula. Yeah, they were. I mean, their quarterbacks were hurt the entire season basically. Mm-hmm. So Ahmad Hardy couldn't do it by himself last year, and for that reason, I don't think he can do it by himself this year. And I think they'll probably go under. I think they'll have the under by 0.5. So I think they'll probably end up with 6 wins.
I've got him at 7 wins.
Yeah. So Oklahoma, I have the over.
I have the over too. I actually think the 7.5 is a little bit low on Oklahoma.
Yeah, agreed.
Their schedule is a lot easier than last season. Not easy.
Yeah.
Just easier than last season.
The difference from Oklahoma's schedule and all the rest, well, Texas, they have an actual good non-conference game with Michigan.
With Michigan.
Yep.
Which there was one other team that I saw had a pretty decent non-conference. But, I think that Michigan – I actually have them losing to Michigan.
Really?
Lie to you.
Yeah.
I think that – I don't know. That's going to be a hard one to predict. But I have them losing to Michigan, A&M, and Ole Miss. Those are the 3 games I have them losing.
I have them losing like 2 games. I think they'll do great this year. I'm high on Oklahoma, and I think they'll hit the over on 7.5.
Yeah, I have them in the over as well. I think winning 3 games is definitely possible.
Yeah.
Or not winning 3 games.
It's like Alabama. They can lose more games than we think, and they can still hit the over.
Exactly. So, OU can – they can lose 4 games and still be over?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so doable to me. I think that 7.5 is very low. Ole Miss, they're at 7.5 as well, and I have them at the over.
Also have the over.
Yeah, I think that's the same. I honestly think the same situation Oklahoma's in. Slightly more favorable SEC schedule.
Yeah, that has a little bit of an easier schedule.
Exactly. I think they lose to Texas LSU, and Florida is kind of a weird game. We'll see. We'll see.
They do play each other. They're one of the yearly play.
And it's at Florida. So. We'll see how that one goes. Yeah. That's a kind of a tricky game. But even if they lose that Florida game, they're still over 7.5.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's a win for sure. South Carolina, I have it the under by a long shot.
I also have the under.
By a long shot.
South Carolina was not great last year.
Yeah. I actually have them losing. I actually have them at 5 wins.
I think Shane Beamer could be on the hot seat.
I think so too.
There's a world where Shane Beamer doesn't make it through the season.
Yeah.
Which would be not that crazy to say, honestly.
Yeah, South Carolina at 5 wins.
Yeah,
is
under on South Carolina.
Tennessee, I have under.
I also have under in Tennessee. I think they'll be probably like 6-6.
Yeah.
Maybe 7-5, but even then they still hit the under. Their line is 7.5, so I'm taking the under on Tennessee.
Texas, I have it over. I have them losing to LSU and Ohio State. Those are the 2 teams I have.
For me, I have Texas on the under.
Okay.
And let me just tell you about this real quick. First off, Texas State start season win. Obviously, they're Texas State. Come on,
easy win.
And then they have Ohio State. For some reason, I just feel like Texas is not going to be able to get over the hump against Ohio State. I mean, last year, you could debate that this was their worst game. The score was 7-13, 7-14. It was the most boring score of all time.
Yeah.
It was an abysmal game to watch.
We thought that was going to be like the greatest game of all time.
Yeah, everybody was hyping it up.
It was
Texas at Ohio State, and it was just the worst.
And Arch Manning threw like 8 balls just into the dirt in the first couple series.
I'm not high on them against Ohio State at all. And then
I think they're going to lose to Ohio State.
I think they'll beat UTSA, obviously. They'll beat Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Oklahoma, I think they'll probably lose to Oklahoma because I think Oklahoma's defense is as good, if not a little bit better than last season. And I think their offense is obviously improved. They actually have Parker Livingston from Texas. They have him. They brought in Trell Harris from Virginia. They have their O-line's better. John Mateer has his wrist back. So all these things I think is better, and I don't think Oklahoma is going to lose 3 years in a row.
I actually backtrack on Oklahoma. I have them losing to Texas and Texas A&M. I put them right next to each other, and I thought that they were one, but I have them losing to both actually. So.
You have Oklahoma losing to Texas and Texas A&M?
Texas and Texas A&M. I apologize, OU fans, but that's still over. That is still over.
Yeah, they're still in the over.
That's still over the win
They can
total.
afford to do that because of how low their win total is. So Texas losing Florida, Ole Miss. I think they'll beat Ole Miss and Florida, sorry. I think they'll beat Mississippi State, Missouri. The only games I have them losing is Ohio State, Oklahoma, and then LSU, which I already talked about. So
I have them losing to Ohio State and LSU.
Yeah.
I think that Texas defensively is elite. I think Cam Coleman is an absolute difference maker. Who knows what they can do with elite wide receivers? Like their wide receivers last season weren't anything to scoff at. But I mean, adding Cam Coleman immediately makes them a top 5 wide receiver room in the country.
Yeah, true.
I think that Arch Manning, if you see the development you need from him, or you expect from him, I would say, I think they're going to be elite. I don't think they're going to be the best team in college football, but I think that they are going. Like some people do, but I think they're going to lose 2 games.
My thing about Arch Manning is last year I watched pretty much every Texas game last year because I knew most people wouldn't, and they would just say like, "Oh, Texas just beat like San Jose State by like 50," but it's like, well, Arch Manning almost threw like 8 picks and he just got deflected by like his own guy. Arch Manning was. The thing about Arch is his pocket presence is insane. His O-line was obviously one of the worst in college football last year, and he would still sit in the pocket and make great throws 0.1 second before getting absolutely destroyed by the D-line. So his O-line has improved, which I think will help him an insane amount. And then what else did they do? They lost 6 starters on their defense, which they fully replaced with transfers. They have their new defensive coordinator, Will Muschamp, which first-year DCs tend to be not great because they can't. It's hard to implement your entire defense.
You can look at it. You can look at it with Notre Dame last season.
Yeah.
I mean, lost their defensive coordinator to the Bengals, and then immediately, like Chris Ash comes from. I can't even remember where he came from. He was a head coach at like Troy or something, but I don't remember. But he really struggled in the first 3 games, causing them to lose to Miami, lose to A&M, and then let Purdue score 30 points on them. They kind of figured it out a little bit after that. But, yeah, first year defensive coordinators really do struggle.
Even first couple years.
Yeah.
Like if you look at Brent Venables going back to Oklahoma, if you look at his like first 3 years at Oklahoma and first 3 years at Clemson as the DC at Clemson, those first 3 years his defense is abysmal. And as soon as it hits like year 4 or year 3, it takes an insane jump. So
you get your players.
You try to wait for it to, your players,
system.
your system, your new schemes, and then Cam Coleman, like you said. Honestly, I think Cam Coleman, adding him to an offense, it doesn't really add him to your offense. It just takes away defensive players from your actual receivers because it takes an extra safety away from Ryan Wingo or something like that.
They're going to put a safety over him.
Yeah.
That's true. I still think he's going to get open. I mean, he looked
electric
with what's that quarterback from Auburn's name?
Jackson Arnold.
Jackson Arnold.
That's my guy.
He looked electric with Jackson Arnold, that quarterback. So I think he can make any quarterback look good.
That's probably true.
But Texas A&M's the next team. I got them over, losing 2 games. Texas A&M. I mean, they're good. Like
you have the over on Texas A&M?
Yeah.
Okay, I have the under.
I think the only thing about Texas A&M, the reason I have them over, but I could potentially see them going under, is they lost Le'Veon Moss, their running back, who was really good.
Yeah.
And did they lose one of their receivers?
Yeah, they did. They lost Casey Concepcion.
Concepcion.
They have Mario Craver.
They have Mario Craver. Yeah, I mean, Casey Concepcion was a little bit better than Mario Craver, but those 2 dudes together were so fun to watch.
That's what I'm saying. When you have an elite receiver, it makes your other guys look so good.
Yeah, but Texas A&M's offense is just going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, their offensive
Marcel
line,
Reed, though.
Defensive
I'm
line.
honestly a Marcel Reed hater.
I think Marcel Reed is one of those quarterbacks that you can watch him some games, and he's like absolutely electric, like throwing balls all over the place. Super accurate, scrambling out of the pocket, and then other games he looks like maybe the worst quarterback in the SEC.
I mean, in the South Carolina game last year, we literally saw both sides of Marcel Reed. He played the worst game of all time, first half, and then he was like, this guy actually might be the Heisman.
Exactly. Yeah. So Marcel Reed is just one of those weird players.
Yeah,
I think Texas A&M is. I think they win. I think they win most.
I'm taking them under by 0.5, so I think they'll go 8 wins, which, I mean, in the SEC,
8 wins is a good season.
If it's a crazy college football year too. 8 wins could make you in the playoffs.
I just don't think so. There's no way we could ever see.
It would be a very small chance.
If we saw a 4-loss team in the playoffs, the world might explode.
That's true.
Vanderbilt, I have under.
Yeah, same. Under. Easy. Nothing really to talk about them.
Yeah, easy under.
They lost
on
Diego
Vanderbilt.
Pavia. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, and I do like their coach. What's that guy's name? The
Clark Lee.
Yeah, but what's that magic?
Oh, Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean, yeah. He looks
like Coach Clean?
Yeah, he looks like Coach Clean.
That's funny.
Mr. Clean, yeah, I like him. I think he's a pretty decent coach.
It's actually a great segue into our next segment.
Exactly. Our next segment is, what are we calling this?
I don't know. We haven't really made a name for it, but we're just basically the whole point of this is what brand or what company fits the best with each college football program.
Yeah. So we're not going to talk about all of them obviously right now, but I've got a couple. He's got a couple.
What makes sense? Just what makes sense?
For me, the one that makes the most sense is Ohio State and Amazon. I know that sounds weird, but like when I picture Ohio State, the brand is consistent.
Yeah.
They're always good.
Yeah.
I can't remember a time in my life when Ohio State's been bad. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, they haven't won the national championship every year.
Sure.
They've won a couple in my lifetime, but they're always good.
Yeah,
you know,
they're consistent for
always
sure.
good. So Amazon's consistent, Ohio State consistent. I just
Yeah.
think that matchup works well. I think
Yeah,
that's
that's
the one
pretty
that
good.
makes some of the most sense to me.
I took a different direction here. Mine is my first brand or company or deal is Notre Dame and the Catholic Church.
Well, yeah,
I'm taking Notre Dame and the entire Catholic Church.
they already are.
Can you imagine like a Catholic Church patch on the Notre
like
Dame?
the Vatican
That'd
logo,
be awesome.
like with
You
the
should
two
have-
keys.
You should have the Pope's face
Yeah.
on Notre
You
Dame's
got
logo.
because the Vatican logo is like those two keys and then like the big Pope hat, so like
That'd be
that
sick.
on the logo.
That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
I mean,
I've
the
got
Pope,
one
isn't
for
the
Notre
Pope
Dame.
from like Chicago?
He is from
Not
Chicago.
too far.
Yeah, he went to Villanova.
Yeah,
So-
he might have been to a Notre Dame game before.
Yeah, he only speaks Italian now, by the way, if
Yeah,
you were wondering.
that's true.
Even though he speaks fluent English. Let's
Makes no
go. I
sense,
got one
but,
for
you know.
Notre Dame as well, though. I got Lego.
Lego Notre Dame.
I just think it works.
You got that vibe.
Yeah, I just think that was literally just a vibe one though.
Yeah,
like,
that's good.
Like, I don't know. I just thought Lego.
Lucky Charms and Notre Dame.
Lucky Charms and Notre Dame is another good
Yeah.
one, but just Lego is fun. They're classic, consistent, always fun.
That's
you
true.
know? So
Yeah.
I just thought that was a good one for Notre Dame. I'll go into my next one too. Rival of Notre Dame, USC. I got him as Rolex.
Yeah.
You know, I think the reason. Well, I love Rolex and I don't like USC that much, but the reason I like Rolex for USC is they are like ritzy and classic and like super like too cool for school,
Yeah.
and they never change.
True.
You know, never change ever.
And they get better with age.
Exactly. So
Reggie Bush just seems to be getting people just view him higher and higher every year.
yeah, but I got USC as Rolex. I think that they're
That's
just
pretty
like,
good.
you know, like Ferraris and Rolex and out
This
there
one,
in Southern California.
My next one is, it's a kind of a proximity pick, but also just kind of the vibes. So I'm going to go with Bass Pro with Missouri.
Okay.
Now,
yeah.
Bass Pro, obviously, Springfield, Missouri, not the same as Columbus, but it's close. It's in the same state. And just the vibes of Missouri just kind of give me Bass Pro.
The Bass Pro logo and the Ole Miss logo are kind of like, in my mind, they look somewhat.
I think Bass Pro could also be like Florida
or Tennessee, because you know
Could
there's
be
that
like
big
A&M.
the Tennessee, because in Memphis they've got that huge
They have the
pyramid.
Yeah, true.
Bass Pro in Memphis.
Yeah.
So it could be Tennessee, but Memphis. Speaking of Memphis, they're partnered with FedEx now.
True. Which that one makes sense because
Yeah.
the major hub of FedEx in the entire world is Memphis.
And obviously, Arkansas is going to be partnered with some sort of Walmart.
They're with
brand,
Tyson.
So they're with Tyson.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is also part of Walmart.
There was this is a weird one. Oklahoma State's with Osage Casino, which
Yeah.
seems great considering Brendan Sorsby.
Exactly. But yeah, Osage Casino is like in Oklahoma. It's like a really, really big casino. So
that's
yeah,
hilarious.
with Osage. And then what's the other one that just happened? Oh, Big 12 with Monster.
Yeah. So if you didn't see this, yesterday the entire conference of the Big 12 signed a deal with Monster. Now they signed a deal. It was like for 44 teams, which means I'm assuming it's all football, basketball. 44 would have to be like women's basketball,
Baseball.
maybe baseball.
Yeah.
And then they also get a patch on every jersey and then every field and court, which is insane.
But for $1 million
Yeah.
a team.
So it was like 30 million or something, but it evens out to like 1.25 mil for every team.
That's insane.
You get a patch on the jersey. Oklahoma, I was reading, somebody replied and they were like, well, it was like an insider for Oklahoma. He was like, I just saw that Oklahoma got offered over 5 mil for just a patch on their jersey. So they're getting that money, and they're not getting anything on the field. That's
Monster absolutely fleeced
Yeah.
the Big 12.
Yeah.
That's insane. I cannot imagine
Yeah,
that.
that's insane.
I don't know that, like, I honestly am kind of anti-jersey patch. I don't want this looking like NASCAR.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm anti that. So I just think that's going to look so tacky on the
it's
Big
gonna be
12
kind of weird,
jerseys.
but
Like, are they going to do like a full Monster can?
so I keep seeing like AI renderings people keep putting, and it's like the Big 12 logo with the Monster like intertwined behind it.
That'd be kind of cool.
It doesn't look terrible, but the thing is, Monster made the deal. It has to be the neon green Monster logo.
It's going to be.
So I keep seeing people like, well, if we could make it the Big 12 colors, it would actually be sick.
No,
but they made it has to be neon
Dude,
green.
if they put like the Monster can, like
That'd be
that would
insane.
be so stupid.
Oh,
Like,
another
I can't
thing,
imagine.
BYU can't have caffeine. Mormons.
Oh yeah, that's right. What are they gonna do?
I don't know.
Are they gonna be
Caffeine-free?
just filling them with water?
That makes absolutely zero sense, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Pretty
That's
crazy.
ridiculous. I got another one here. I've
Yeah.
got Michigan as Carhartt.
Yeah, that one just
it just feels
gritty.
right.
Yeah,
you
just
know?
grit.
Just gritty. It's cold.
Yeah, true.
Gotta have a coat
you might
on,
need
right?
that, yeah.
Carhartt is another one of those companies. They're not worried about the trends.
True.
Michigan's not worried about throwing the ball for a million miles. They're just going to keep running it. So
Michigan's a blue blood. And
blue blood.
They went years without even making the playoffs or anything, and then they just win the national championship.
Just like Carhartt out of nowhere was super unpopular. Out of nowhere, everybody's wearing Carhartt now.
It's actually a great comparison.
Michigan came back, Carhartt came back, and they didn't. You know what? And the thing I love, even though like I'm not a huge Michigan fan, the thing I love about Michigan is they won the national championship playing the type of football they'd always played.
Yeah, that's true.
They didn't change their identity to win a national championship. They just played the same football they'd played for decades and then continued to win. So I think Carhartt does the same thing.
That's actually good.
Carhartt didn't change their identity. People just kind of started to like it.
That is true.
I think Carhartt's a perfect.
They always come back.
Yeah, they do. I think Carhartt's perfect.
Yeah,
I thought another one might be like Stanley, like because Stanley's like the mugs
too. Yeah,
because they'd been that's what your grandpa carried
like
to work.
Folgers coffee.
Exactly.
Something
gritty. So I got Michigan at Carhartt though. I think that's a pretty fun one.
That's good.
But that's all the ones I have.
That's our brands. Those are our brands that just make sense. So
they just make sense.
Before we get into our last segment, if you're hearing us right now, that just means you're listening to a podcast or you're watching the long form video, which means you've dedicated to be like 30 minutes in at this point.
Yeah, you're 30 minutes in.
Yeah.
Bro.
If you're this deep in, you might as well subscribe or follow on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you're listening. And then also, if you have questions for us, you can email juddlukecollegefootball@gmail.com. I'll put it on the screen so you can see it right here. It'll probably be at the bottom of the screen the whole video. So if you're watching, just email questions, email things you want to say.
Shoot us an email, man.
Yeah, whatever you want to say. Just
give us an email.
Yeah.
We'll reply. We have 0 in our inbox right now.
True.
So if you email us, we will see it. We will see it. So.
All right. So our last segment is. So we watched J.D. Vickell did a little bit about this. We're using Josh Pate. Shout out Josh Pate. We're using his bracket, but what we're gonna do is
his AP poll prediction.
Yes. So it's Josh Pate's AP poll prediction, which means this isn't the actual poll. This isn't Josh Pate's rankings. This is just a prediction that he has of what he thinks.
What the AP poll will come out in just a month.
Probably,
right?
Yeah, maybe less than that, honestly.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're gonna look at this top 25, and we're gonna try to see when we can draw the line of. I think this team could, but I don't think 11 could. Like, so for example, if we're looking at this list, you can see it on the screen right now. Like, obviously one is Texas. If we think Texas is the only team that has a chance of winning the national championship, which obviously that would be crazy to think that right now.
We draw the line right after Texas.
Yeah, we would draw it between 1 and 2. So we're trying to see how many teams, like, logistically, could we actually see winning the national championship this season. So, Judd, let's just go one by one.
Obviously, I think we can.
We could probably start at top 5. Honestly,
we can skip to 5 because I think it's pretty. I think we're in the agreement that Texas, Notre Dame, IU. Because if you don't think IU can win it, go watch last season.
Yeah, exactly.
You've lost it. I think it's so funny how many people hated on IU all season long just for them to win, including Josh Pate. Which he did apologize for it, though.
He apologized.
He did apologize for it, but he
did
hated
not have
on
immunity.
He hated on him all season, and then they won the national championship. So if you don't think IU can do it, go watch last season.
True.
So I think Texas, Notre Dame, IU, Oregon, Ohio State.
Yeah.
I think those teams are obvious.
We're clear through the top 5
Yep.
for sure.
I think Miami. I think that's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
I think Georgia. Here's the thing. Like, I think there are teams behind Georgia that can win it.
Yeah.
But I'm honestly wanting to draw my line at 6 because I don't think Georgia can.
But,
like, if we're looking at this list here.
But to play devil's advocate,
Yeah.
look at Miami last season.
That's true.
You never know when a team gets hot. You never know who's going to be injured. You never know how their matchups ended up, and they actually are great, and they are the 1 seed, and they get a bye, so they make it farther. Then they get a crazy matchup. Like, you never know what's going to happen.
That's true. So I'm gonna give Georgia a pass.
Just keep going.
I
want
you have to put my line at 6 right there because I don't think Georgia can win it. I'd love Kirby Smart. I'm not a Georgia hater. I'm just not a Georgia fan this season.
Right.
But I think Georgia could. I don't think they can, but we're going to just say
they have
they
a
can.
chance. They have enough chance to keep going.
That's true. They do. I think Texas A&M.
A&M, obviously, if you haven't listened to our lines video, we actually picked A&M to probably win like 8 games.
Yeah.
So
A&M's a little bit tricky. Ole Miss, a little bit tricky.
The thing about Mike Elko, though, he can rally a team.
Mike Elko has been doing it since Duke.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Mike Elko, like I actually am a huge Mike Elko fan, and I think that while there's this stigma that A&M gets all this talent and can never do anything with it, I think if there's a guy to change it up, it's going to be Mike Elko. I think Mike Elko can do it, but we're going to see. Like, this is going to be – this is his 3rd season there or second?
I think it's his third.
Third, yeah, because the first year was 2 years ago when
Yeah.
he played Notre Dame in the first game of the season. So yeah, this is his third season there. So he's starting to get his players from his recruiting.
Yeah.
Like those guys are probably coming in now.
Yeah, that is true.
From his, for like second recruiting class. So the guys from his first recruiting class are now sophomores.
That is, yeah.
So like we're going to start
makes a huge difference too.
Yeah, we're going to start seeing more of Mike Elko's recruited team, guys that he wants on his roster. So we'll see. I think he's a better coach than Jimbo Fisher was.
Yeah, agreed.
And
Jimbo Fisher could recruit year after year, but he could do nothing.
He could
with
never do anything with the talent. So we're going to see. Home of the 12th man. I actually think A&M has some cool tradition.
I think they have a chance.
I think those weird cheerleaders are horrible.
They're cold. Oh, they're men cheerleaders?
Yeah, I think those are horrible.
What do they call them? Like they're yell
rally leaders or yell
like
leaders or something? Yeah, dumb.
I don't know.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, yes, because Trinidad.
He
can carry you.
I think that's the hard thing, though. I don't think Ole Miss can win it, but I think LSU can. Again, that's another thing.
Yeah, true.
Like, I think LSU can win it, but I don't think Ole Miss can. But after
again,
Ole Miss
is a team good enough where if they get the right matchups in the playoffs, they can. They can go on a run.
Yeah.
It's really, do you have the roster? This is what we're really looking at. Is your team good enough? Do you have the roster? Can you make a run? And that's Ole Miss could do that.
After LSU, I'm drawing my line, though.
But Ole Miss was also like 2 minutes away from making the national championship.
That's true. I'm drawing my line at LSU, though. Right after 10. That's where I'm drawing my line. I don't think any of the teams from 11 to 25 are built
I fully disagree.
Depth or skill position-wise to make a deep run into the playoffs. I'm drawing my line at 10. I think that the national championship will come from this top 10 I'm seeing right here.
I think. Okay, let me keep going then. Let me go on without you.
Okay, I'm going to say this. The teams that I think outside of that, maybe, like I would be okay with getting proved wrong in this way. I definitely don't think Alabama. I think Texas Tech is just got a lot of money, so you never know.
True. Their defense is good.
Sorsby is gone though, so I think Texas Tech X. But maybe I could be proved wrong. I'm not even going to hear it about Alabama. OU is probably the only team, and maybe I don't know. USC's got a really brutal schedule. I don't even know if they'll make the playoffs because their schedule's so hard. So it's like OU is. If OU is at 11, I'd draw my line at 11 probably. But like BYU, no. Penn State, come on. Michigan, we'll see with the new head coach. I think they'll be okay.
Michigan, I could honestly see making the playoffs.
USC has such a hard schedule. Iowa, no. Utah, no. SMU, no. Like I'm not seeing any of these teams.
We're going to talk about the fact that, just complete side note, that Florida is number 24 on this list.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy. They're projected at like what? 7.5 wins though, so that would an 8-win. If they were over, an 8-win SEC team is going to be there.
Yeah, that is absolutely true.
So,
all right, well, I'm going to keep going with that. I'm going to keep drawing my line.
Because I'm done at 10.
Yeah,
if
so
OU
Judd's drawing his line.
If OU is at 11, I'll draw my line there.
Okay, but so you would do this top 10 add OU.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would do.
So do you think those are the only people that can win the national championship this
year? That I am confident to say. Like, you can always have an Indiana. Did Indiana even start? Well, I think
they started last year.
I think they started the last season at but low.
Yeah,
they weren't
low.
High.
No,
they were in the bottom half of the top 25.
Sure.
So, like, someone from the bottom half could do it. But I just am like, it's look at like college football as a whole and how many times it's happened. It might be one, and it might be Indiana. So I'm going with my gut and saying that one of the teams in this top 10 are going to be the ones that make it and do it.
I'm going to go Alabama, yes. I think they have. Alabama, as far as the players they have the caliber of players to make it farther. They can make the playoffs any year probably. It just depends if they will. I'm
just not convinced that Kellen, that's his name.
Kalen DeBoer.
Kalen DeBoer can do it. I just don't. He has proven to me that he's going to choke in almost every situation possible. So I'm just
He didn't make the. Did he make the national championship with Washington?
Yeah, he did. He did make the national championship with Washington.
Yeah,
he did. But that was again a little bit of a one-off. And then Did they play TCU in the first round? Is that who they played?
Yes. Or did they play Texas?
No, they played Texas. That's right.
Yeah.
They played Texas, and then Michigan played TCU.
And then they had Michael Penix as their quarterback.
Michael Penix Jr. Yeah.
Yep. So I'm going to go on with Alabama.
Romo Dunze. They had Romo Dunze,
Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah,
they had a great team.
They actually did have a great team. So I think you can do it again at Alabama. Going on Texas Tech, first off, this new logo is so abysmal. I'm looking at it right now. I hate that new logo, but that's neither here nor there.
It looks pretty bad.
Texas Tech made the playoffs last year. The Big 12's weak. I think they can make the playoffs, which if you make the playoffs, in my opinion, you automatically have a chance to win the national championship.
I don't know. Here's the thing.
I think Miami was matched up differently last year, they probably can't make the playoffs again. Like,
That's
let's
true.
say,
But they played Ohio
Miami
State.
almost flipped with Alabama in the seeding.
They played Ohio State, though. You know what I'm saying?
But if they flipped with Alabama was almost the 8 seed, and Miami was almost the 9, or maybe vice versa, which means they would have played Indiana first round.
I don't know how
ending
many
up they would not be in the national championship.
videos I watched of people projecting Ohio State to win the national championship, and then Miami beat them, though. Like, that's my point.
True.
Like Miami didn't – if you looked at just the bracket and you didn't know the ending and how that Miami's going to beat Ohio State, I think nobody was projecting Miami to beat Ohio State.
And that's what I'm saying about Texas Tech. That's why I think they have a chance. If you make the playoffs, you have a chance. So I'm going to go on. Oklahoma, yes. BYU, no. I'm going to draw my line at BYU. I think Michigan, USC, call me crazy. I'm kind of high on SMU coming out of the ACC, but that's Kevin Jennings, their quarterback. I love him a lot.
They have a lot of losable games.
They beat Miami last season.
It's true.
Crazy. Anyways, I'm drawing it at between 13 and 14. I think BYU is where I have to draw the line, to be honest. And Penn State, just Iowa State 2.0, basically. New name, new conference. I think this team probably had a better chance in the Big 12, but actually their schedule is one of the easiest ever. I was looking at it yesterday. It's weak, to be honest. So Penn State could do it, but I'm drawing it between 13 and 14. I think Alabama, Texas Tech, and OU are kind of need to be in this list.
I think Alabama is wrong. I can't get with it. They haven't, since Nick Saban left, they have been nothing but mid, in my opinion. I mean, I say mid. They've been at the good. But they haven't been excellent. That's kind of not necessarily.
Yeah, they did. I mean, they did make the second round of the playoffs last year, and then they lost to the national champion. But that's neither here nor there, I guess.
Yeah, I think mid would be 6 wins. So that's not what I mean. I mean they haven't been excellent.
Just so mid. They've made the playoffs 2 out of the last 3 years.
That's not true. That's not true. Mid is not the right word.
Yeah.
Like middle of the top 25.
Well, they're just not what we expect them to be from Alabama, because Nick Saban set the highest standard for us. And I mean, it's like Oklahoma fans are upset when they go in the last season of the Big 12, they had an abysmal season. They did better than most bottom teams. Yeah. But when you expect excellence, you lose Lincoln Riley, you get a new coach. It happens for every team that's good like this. Like Michigan, when they lost Jim Harbaugh, they drop a little bit, and that's just what happened.
They didn't drop a little bit; they dropped out of the top 25.
True, yeah.
So I think I'm actually proud of Michigan climbing their way back. I don't like Michigan, but I like the brand.
Yeah, we have a good buddy who loves Michigan. Yeah. He'll probably be upset that we even spoke badly about them.
Yeah, I spoke almost all positive about Michigan today, though. So.
You did draw the line past Michigan, though. So
I did.
See Michigan in the playoffs, I guess.
Yeah, Michigan's not
no chance to make the national championship.
I think that's true. Like I said, I guess here's the thing. I put 11 teams in the 12-team playoff field, but you got to think one of those 12 teams is going to be a group of 5 team. So I think 11 teams is – I think, like I said, that's why I put my line at 11. Yeah. Because I would somewhat agree. I think that 12 teams, if you're in the playoff, you have a chance besides the group of 5 team.
That is true.
I've got 11 teams in there with OU at 11. I'm drawing on my line there. I think that the 11 teams that make it, I'm just kind of predicting.
11 real teams.
Besides group of 5, you're just not going to. They need to give group of 5 their own national championship.
That's a whole nother road we got to go down.
Exactly. But I do think that any of the 11 teams that make it will have a chance. Yeah. I think OU will be one of those 11. I don't think Alabama or Texas Tech will, though.
Yeah, me neither, but I think they have a chance, which you got to keep drawing the line. All right, well, speaking of playoffs, next week we'll probably be doing our conference champion predictions. We'll do the matchups.
Maybe like a playoff prediction as well, potentially. Prediction.
And then by the end of July, you will have our national champion picks. Yeah. So you guys can probably clip us in 4 months and just flame us on how wrong
horrible we are. Yeah. I'm no coward of apologizing. No. If Georgia, who I talk bad about, or Alabama, or Ole Miss go out and win the national championship.
Alabama's going to make the Natty this year, and Judd's going to be eating all of his words.
I will be eating my words, but that's what's fun about college football.
Yeah,
you never know.
I mean, this is what we believe. So be on the lookout for those videos. Thank you guys for watching this, and if you're listening on Spotify or Apple or wherever you're listening, we appreciate you, and don't forget to send us email. So if you are listening and you don't see the email on screen, you can go look it up on YouTube, and then you can figure out what the email is there. It's juddlukecollege@cfb@gmail.com. So send us an email, and we'll talk to you, and we'll reply, and we'll video it and show it next week.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Yep. See you guys later.
Thanks for watching, guys.